Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to The Resistance. Resist, sister. We are talking about Handmaid's Tale, Season 2, Episode 1 and 2. We get flashbacks. We get more great explanation on some characters. We get fire. We get all kinds of crazy stuff. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I cannot believe we are back.
We're back!
Like I just don't.
Oh my gosh. It went by really fast. And really slow at the same time.
At the because the cliffhanger from last season was so big, and I was not prepared for them to just pick right back up. I thought perhaps some time would pass, but they were like, nope, here we go. We're diving straight in, and it's just as messy.
Yes. So this is the Handmaid's Tale after show. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 1 and 2, because Hulu is cool and dropped those together. My name is Kari Lane. I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hi, Joelle, Monique.
And on the table real quick, we'll talk about at the end, but on our wide shot, got an awesome box from Hulu. Resist,
Thanks, Hulu.
sister. Thank
really
you.
appreciate you.
We'll talk about that as well after. Let's dive right in. So this song, also we'll talk about the song real quick too.
Oh, Kate Bush.
That moment, did you think it was going to go that way with the hanging?
I knew they would not kill all of them.
Because they're good merchandise, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is exactly what they did to slaves. The slave narratives become stronger and stronger every season.
They psyched them out like that?
Of course, because we need your obedience. And the minute you guys think all of you can just start pulling whatever kind of bull that you want, it's not cool. Even the stove handcuff thing is similar to...
which handcuff?
The handcuff scene later, that same day, when they handcuff the girl to the stove and they turn on the fire. Slaves that ran away would get a runaway, like an R carved on their face or forehead or wherever, to let people know, like, hey, also it disfigures you so you can never look in the mirror. Everyone who looks at you is aware of the kind of violence and turmoil you will face if you dispute your overlords. So yeah, I knew instantly. I was like, there's no way they're killing this many women who can give birth. So
I love also that this season, so I read the book twice, and I love that this is departure from it, because the book ends where season 1 ends. So I was like, oh, where are we going to go? And it is fantastic, picks up right where we left off. Would you risk getting in that vehicle if Nick's like, get in, go?
I don't see what choice you would have. I feel like so much of this is about how you don't have any control, and yet you have to be so freaking brave all of the time, which must just be so exhausting, as we experienced in episode 2. I think so. I don't want to die, so
well, that goes back to our thing of trusting Nick or not, so that's kind of maybe where that falls in.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like, again, you have no choice. Nick says, trust me, and you're headed to the van anyway. You might as well try it, I guess.
Yes. We do have this as a live chat. If you're watching this with us live, feel free to chime in. If you watch it later, please comment down below. So would you risk getting in that van? Because it was like, I think I would, because it's one of those, if it's, and we're going to have some swearing because they swear on the show. If you're living in such a shitty situation anyways, well, it might be better, or you might die and then you're out of the other situation anyway. So,
the walk was long though, and especially when it starts feeling a little Holocausty with like the train. They're like going through a truck tunnel and you see the lights.
Oh,
and I was
lights.
like,
but it was gorgeous, all that lighting coming in.
I mean, they make it pretty.
Well, even the vans, how they were framing them and guiding them. Oh yeah, no, those gorgeous. Then cinematography again, absolutely stunning. So many aerial shots that are great too, to like see the formations of them. We get better clarification exactly where they are, kind of, because they go to Fenway Park. So we're in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, cool. Because we were like, not exactly. Totally sure. I like that.
What a hell of a place for a torture.
I know, right? Baseball park.
The idea. Well, and if you think about Fenway Park being a place of torture for a lot of years, because the Boston Red Sox had that long drought where they weren't winning anything, and this idea of... And it's America's great.
I don't think I even thought that as a connection, but I like
well,
that.
And it's America's greatest pastime. Yeah, too. And so it's like somewhat entertainment, as it seems like maybe it like a gladiator pit. Yeah, you know, easily could be there in the future.
Yeah, we get Aunt Lydia show up, and the just kidding at the gallows. I didn't really think they'd kill them, but I was like, they could.
They went so far. That girl wet herself. I felt bad, and she has not been allowed to change for a very long time. I thought about that the whole duration. I was like, damn, that sucks.
I do like that in the previously they showed us the putting the stone down sorry, Aunt Lydia, they're not going to stone Janine. So I liked, because I was like, oh, yes, that scene. And then also during that moment, too, when they're doing the punishment for the rock, jumping ahead with our girls, holding the rocks out forever, we get the pregnancy reveal for June. And Aunt Lydia, so many complex emotions with Aunt Lydia and June when they're sitting together. And it really felt like, let me know what your thoughts were. It really felt like June was almost testing the limits of what she could do. Like, I'm pregnant, I'm untouchable, like crossing her arms, giving attitude.
We saw June do this season 1 too, where she was like, oh, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to eat, and I'm not going to tell you guys about things. And it always backfires. But again, I think when that much of your freedom has been stripped from you, you're going to try to test and see what you can do, because you know, you need some kind of control. And I was like, yes, solidarity, sister. But I also knew it was going to be bad, seeing that woman chained up and just being like, 9 months can be a long time. And she just kept in the dark.
Yeah.
It's
with the little treadmill on the side too, so she get exercise.
It's the literal carrying case. Like, you're not a person.
Oh,
we don't care about you.
You're an incubator.
You're just here to grow this baby. It's disgusting.
I almost would have wanted a hair more solidarity and her go, I will eat when you bring all those other girls inside. Though June isn't that person yet.
Yes, but it seems very much like that's where the show's taking her
go that way.
This season. Speaking of solidarity and sisters and sisterhood, Maria Menounos, who's the founder of this station, has a great podcast. If you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, we have got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us, the Handmaid's Tale panel, that sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition. Check it out.
Yeah. Then another emotional bit, we talked about it a little bit before this show, but Aunt Lydia getting really emotional, getting ready to ring that bell, almost crying. I want my Aunt Lydia backstory. I want to know more about this woman.
Well, it's really what I love about the aunts is the idea of women being our own captors, which we're seeing a lot in our politics with our Sarah Huckabee Sanders and a lot of our women who want to protect men from Me Too for reasons I'll never understand. And Aunt Lydia, it seems so conflicted because I truly believe she cares about the girls.
I think she does as well.
But I also think she truly believes their only purpose in life is to have babies. And that conflicting emotion of, I will care for you, but I don't care about what your needs are. It's such an abusive and hurtful and difficult relationship to navigate. But one I also think we deal with frequently, especially with relatives that have like aunt-like status or uncle status, or who are near us, you know, maybe not parents, but who had dreams for us and, you know, we're on different paths. She is fascinating and so well performed. I do hope we get a backstory soon.
Yeah. Well, because I want to know, like, how was she before all this happened? Was she someone who couldn't have children? And so seeing these women have the gift of being able to get pregnant to her is such a gift that she sees them differently than if, like, she could have been someone like them, you know? So I'm like, I want to know more. Then, yeah, we have the Off-Wyatt. That's the one chained up and everything. And then of Robert with the fire. Ugh.
Poor Robert.
Yeah, on that shot too, where we have June like keep eating and stuff. But again, I would have wanted her, but that would be even a bigger step to be like, if you don't do that, I'll finish eating. But
well, at the same time too, I
don't know if that'd be an equal exchange for Aunt Lydia, anyways.
It's such a challenge when you're seeing people get hurt and you've been given a very simple task. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I would not like to be chained to a stove and set on fire. What a great torture. I am endlessly fascinated at the way humans come up with torturing each other. I have been since I was very little. The idea of like the iron bowl, which is just a much larger version of what we saw with the stove, which is literally an iron bowl where they put you in, they set a fire under it, and they cook you inside of it. The idea of the ring being there as a symbol of not just their disservice, but also kind of Aunt Lydia's. She says that she's chaining to the girl to the stove, like, this shames me too. I have no idea how these girls are going to come out on the other side, and especially you know, with June
I want
gone.
them all to snap and fight back.
Oh gosh,
but
rebellions are hard.
Yeah, no, totally. And this reminded me of the parable in Westworld.
The elephant and the stake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So real quick, guys. So the idea is that an elephant staked to the ground, why doesn't it just pull the stake out? It's because they start him as a baby and they can't do it. So as they get bigger, they never think they can. So same thing with these girls. You're conditioned to think a certain way. And I'm waiting for that. Like, again, it has to be a group effort because there's no way they can do this as individuals. It's like maybe you get out, but more power together. We had a couple of really cool flashbacks. The birth control deciding to like have another baby was so sweet between June and Lucas. She's like, all right, I'm going to get more birth control, which they don't say that outright, but need the husband's signature and his little bit of like, that's weird. But then she's like, maybe I don't want to. And then he's like, oh, yeah, don't get it.
We should have another baby. I like the idea of life sustaining even in a downward society, especially for Americans. I think it's important as we look at the immigrant culture and something that we're kind of distant from at this point, the idea of living through a war and internal civil strife within your own country. It causes a lot of decisions to be made, but life kind of still flourishes. And I like that we're exploring, just in like last season when we saw the Little America in Canada. It's something that we're not familiar with, and I think it's important and brings home a lot of those stories.
And then there's the other flashback where it's her daughter has the fever, and it's essentially like, are you a fit parent or not? And you're like, oh, that was like, it's so subtle, but it was really making me uncomfortable.
Many of us are not.
Dangerous.
The two of us are not mothers. We do not have children, but for the moms out there, like a lot of my friends are moms, and this idea, like, are you a fit parent? Are you doing it? And the fact that strangers can just post up on you without really knowing your child, without seeing how you interact with your child, how your child interacts with you, without doing any kind of evaluation, come up with all of these assumptions. But what really pissed me off was that she kept calling her by her husband's last name. And she kept having to say it like, this is my name. Like, you will not strip me of that choice. Oh, disgusting.
Well, even also, is this your biological child? Did you catch that
I
one
caught
too?
the racism, of course
I was like,
I did.
ooh. I was like, okay, that was a wonderful. She's like, yes, it's my kid. Like, why is this? But that happens with a lot of parents who have mixed race children, because it's like, does your child look like you? And all kinds of other complicated issues. But this hospital bit, it's kind of cool how it led into our present hospital, where she's there and they're like, let's look at the baby. And I love when Serena is trying to be all top dog, don't resist and don't give me attitude. And then June escapes. I was like, ha!
The mental games that, what I love about the show is every woman is miserable. There's no happy woman on this like planet right now.
Not really,
and it's really fascinating because, you know, that's what the patriarchy does. And to see June just be like, don't get upset, Serena. It's bad for the baby. I was like, you better work that psychological trauma, girl.
Yeah.
But then, when the doctor is like, what do you say, be well, June, or something? Whatever he says, June, I was like,
Godspeed. He said Godspeed, June. I thought that was just an orderly. I didn't think he was the doctor was a white guy, and that was a black guy who.
Did we see the doctor?
Briefly. We see him standing behind Serena and Offred. Or, I mean, I was like, Fred, or man.
Oh,
he's there briefly, and he's just like, all right, bye, peace out. No, I felt this guy was like just a nurse, orderly person. Even he could be cleaning. I don't know. Like he didn't
on the scrubs though.
No, he had like. I don't remember what he's wearing, but either way, he was passing through.
Yeah.
And then, Godspeed June. And then I was like, oh, resistance. And then her key in her boot. I was like, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
the very subtle
stickers.
red tag so that she could find her way out was great.
So good.
Although I would for sure panic. I would need one like every 3 feet. Like I would need to see the last red tag and the next red tag.
Yeah, no, she does a great job. But
she's like, okay, just keep going. And I would have been like, am I going the right way? Did I screw it up? Oh my God, I'm so scared.
The first key in the door, I was like, hurry up and get out of that room.
Yeah, but then as soon as she was out, there were voices. I was like, go back in.
Yeah, you're like, say it again.
Are we sure it's this key? Is the time 9? Oh my God, it was so scary. But when she finally climbs drives the truck and the door just closes. Like, I was like, oh my God, please don't be a trap.
Oh,
please
yeah, no,
don't
the
be
whole time.
another psychological, like, psych out. I cannot. Oh, it was very nerve-wracking.
And then, just in the hallway, that kind of slow-mo when she's running, and I'm sitting there going, run! It's like you're telling your character, you're like, ow. So finally she does, meets up with Nick, and then I'm like, all right, so Nick is good. Yes, because we weren't sure last season. I know we all had our doubts. We're like, we want him to be good, but...
I want him to be good, but here's my problem. Nick has not been assigned a woman. He still lives and thrives in a patriarchal society. And he has no intention, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit in episode 2, of getting her out of this. He's like, oh no, you just hide forever now.
No, he was hiding until things cool down and then go, which makes sense, which we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. All I think is that Nick continues to thrive in this society and has not found a way to keep her safe, secure, or buck the system truly. And so I'm still skeptical. I'm glad we did I'm glad he got us here, but still skeptical.
All right, fair enough. I adored her burning her outfit. I was like, yes, totally made sense.
Her cutting out the tag in her ear.
Yeah, I was squirming. I'm like, okay, apparently ears and nails are like the thing when they torture. I'm like,
it's true. It was so hard to watch, but also so like.
Oh, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. Now the question is, and this is more just random specifics, and you guys too. Do you think she did a full like cut it off, or it looked like she cut in so that she could slide it off?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Which I'm like, oh, you don't have to like totally deform your whole ear. Just cut in so that you can slide it out.
She's not. She was just like, I don't want to be property anymore. Take it off.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And I don't need that part of my ear. You really don't. I mean, it's nice to have, but it's not necessary.
No. Well, that was the last thing to get it off. I even think she could have gotten rid of the stupid boxer short underwear, which was weird too. I'm like, really? They don't have normal lady underwear for you?
You don't need to feel sexy. Again, you're just a carrying case.
Yes. And then we get the wonderful declaration at the end, like, I am this, and the last one, I am free. And it's like, nice, it's great, like, powerful end to episode 1. Any other thoughts on episode 1?
No, super solid. I really like the way we look at the immigration journey. Again, just what would it be like to have to escape America?
Well, that's kind of the next bit where she's laying down on that truck and she's like, we get comfortable with walls. It's like, yep. And even like how they got used to, it's also the other one of a frog in boiling water, slowly turning at that temperature. These things are slowly happening to the people in this world. You let it happen. Same thing with our world today. You let little things happen, and then it just keeps going, and then you're like, how did we get here? You let it go along the way. But yeah, she's laying down on that truck and gets to go hide at the Boston Globe. That was kind of awesome.
The reveal of the Boston Globe was perfection. Because you're like, okay, so it's abandoned before the war, and how it's like a big kind of warehouse space.
Yep. They have electricity and water.
You're like, what is going on? And then as soon as that door closed, I was like, no, it's scary.
Well, it's like a freedom of speech place, and like, what a great place to hide.
Yeah, freedom of the press. And nobody's going to be there if it's been closed before the war, so it is a good hiding spot.
Though, I am very suspicious, and please let me know what your thoughts are too. They say there's electricity and water. Cool, great. But the thing is, where is this in relation to the world outside in terms of anybody outside? Are they going to notice that the lights are changing? Because she's turning the lights on as she's going around.
I was like, girl, be more careful with that stuff, because I don't trust it. I do not trust it.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page. Like the lower level, I'm like, all right, that's kind of below ground.
Well, even when she started the fire, I was like, that smoke has to go somewhere. Can you not alert people?
That was a different spot.
It was a different spot. It was not the Boston Globe. But even still, I'm saying, like, on this journey, as you're doing things, like smoke in the air could be a signal to people. Although in a society where everyone's keeping secret and hiding their true selves, it's a lot easier to get away with bullshit, as we've seen, throughout season 1.
So I just really hope she won't be found out because she had the lights on somewhere that weren't normally on or something, like, or is this one of those, if she stands by the window they'll see her or something stupid where it's gonna be like, and that's her downfall. No, I don't think the show will be dumb like that, but often characters can do something and you're like, please.
We'll get to my predictions at the end.
All right, cool. Anybody saying anything interesting in our live chat?
Well, shout out to Quintessential 2 and Simone Francois, who are hanging out in the chat. They agree with you that Aunt Lydia's backstory needs to be a thing, and they want to know who is watching Nick. Why is he just allowed to run around?
True.
Even though he is part of the eye. There does seem to be, he definitely has some leniency, but how long can you be gone? A whole day seems a little excessive to me.
Side note on that, he has never confirmed nor denied he's an eye. She just says it all the time.
Yeah, but we've seen him do eye things.
I know, but I still want him to be like, it's not what you think or something.
Why? You want him to lie?
No, but I'd want him to talk more about it. Because she assumes what it is and what it's like.
Oh.
And I'd want him to clarify for her, because if he cares about her, but fine.
I think that
too much disclosure that it's probably not going to happen.
If I were a handmaid, some eye came to me and was like, oh, but it's not what you think, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I don't care what it's like. Do you have a monochrome of freedom? That's great. I would like that. I would like a little bit of what you have. That's ridiculous.
Then we jump over. Oh, we finally get to see the colonies, like for reals, because before you don't really see them. Though at the end of the 80s movie, you see them a little bit, but not really. Then we have Off Glen Emily, which, yay, get more of her backstory.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this. Look, I've been binge watching Gilmore Girls. I do it once a year. Wow. It's my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amy Palladino, who wrote the show.
She's come a long way.
Just to see Alexis Bledel blossom like this, to be used in a way that, because she's so wavy and gorgeous. I feel like people are always like, oh, like helpless, beautiful girl. And she played that part really good, like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. We see it in Gilmore Girls. It is really nice to see her be like, yeah, I'm a professor and I don't have time for anybody's BS. Like, I'm not hiding. I am queer and open, and it's great. And she's just so well performed, and then so heartbreaking. The story really...
Oh, yeah.
This might be the most I've cried during The Handmaid's Tale, is this episode. It was a lot. Particularly when her boss is murdered.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm like, that is not a suicide. That is 100% a murder. There's no way he would have just done that.
You would not tag faggot on the ground and then kill yourself. That does not make a lot of sense. Devastating.
Well, he could have been hanging, then someone wrote it.
Also possible, but
I
don't think so.
I felt it was totally a murder to look. So she's a teacher, a scientist, and actually, let's just finish her
backstory
there, because that's the hiding the gaze, pretty much, of like, that conversation.
You know what sucked? It seemed like she was helping the girl out, but the girl had to be the only person who saw the photo, though. And I thought, betrayal. Betrayal, young lady. Like, this woman is trying to make you feel good in the society. And I kind of wondered if it was her note of like, yeah, no, it doesn't get any better. It just keeps getting worse. Where the girl was like, well, F it. Like, it's not, I should join, with the ranks. I don't know. It bothered me deeply.
It was, as soon as they said the photo, I'm like, oh, that makes
supposed to have solidarity.
Yeah. And then when they're trying to leave, saying goodbye to her wife and her child was so heartbreaking. Anytime any couple, I'm like, regardless of the sex of the characters, anytime it's couples who love each other and they're being separated, I'm always like,
well, no. And even, okay, so we have this whole arc of her being like, look, I'm out and I'm queer, I'm going to do what I want, and they can't make us go back in the closet. And then he says the most heartbreaking thing, which if you know older gays, they say this all the time, like, my generation's going to be the last one who has to deal with this. Yeah. It's over and it's done. And we cannot take for granted that it's 100% done. We do not know that. We see people actively trying to push back against that. So I really appreciated that moment. But then the moment with like the ICE officer / TSA,
like, this is not allowed. This doesn't exist anymore. It's against the law.
Aside from that, just the entire attitude was very triggering. If you've ever been through TSA and they suspect you have something on you, the way that you are grilled and treated like a prisoner, the way your body can just be touched and moved around without your permission. It's a very frightening situation to be in. I've been in it twice and I hope never have to go through it again. I hate flying for that reason. It was just all very like upsetting and triggering. And when she starts like saying like, look, these are my rights, you can't do this, it becomes very clear that like this is the moment for her where it becomes clear like, oh, there are no rights here anymore.
They're gone.
You want a lawyer? That's a joke.
Yeah. And they like shove her down. Yeah. No, I had a friend who recently posted about that, and he was like, I got so felt up, it was like traumatizing. It's one of those, it shouldn't need to do all that to be like, no, really, come on. That scene, and then when she's just, that moment that's possibly goodbye forever to your loved one and your child is...
And the child you carried, too.
Yeah, it is her baby, like literally, biologically. And it's just like, and then what? But then it's like, well, what does she do now? You know?
You're right. And
yeah,
she
go
can't
to the
keep them.
embassy. It's like,
It's
no.
not gonna work.
Yeah, no. But and then that's the ultimate kind of sacrifice, getting her child out. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I want you guys to say you guys should be free.
Get them out. We haven't seen her wife at any point in Canada. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that.
I hope so.
Yes. And then back to present day with the colonies, we get the Mrs. O'Connor.
Oh my god!
When we saw Lady in Blue, I was like, "What? A blue? It's a blue!" And she's just like, where was it? Oh yeah, I wrote it down. They're like, oh, the water's contaminated. And then the nasty ass fingernail thing. Oh my gosh, when they just peel.
Yeah, no,
the show is so good of like such subtle things. They're disgusting. Regardless of the status that O'Connor had, but being such a blind believer, I'm just like epic eye rolls.
See,
like,
that's not how I saw it. To me, I think she was a true believer.
No, that's what I mean. Like, she really believes, but she's that dumb and blind to be like, it's the people, side parallel, who would be like, I'm not going to take this medication to heal me because God will heal me. This medication doesn't exist because God will do it on his own.
Okay, but to me, that was what this episode was all about, is like the profound beauty of faith. Like, look, even if, like, she didn't have anything else. Like, and she was definitely a dumb human being. Like, not necessarily just to, like, committing the sins of the flesh, but she had that very, like, white feminist moment of, like, I just want you to know that I was not against the university.
Oh, yeah.
That was so, no. I have, she had, like, a master's in interior design.
Yeah.
Girl, get out.
Her
and
MFA.
so I felt that condescension and frustration, but at the same time, like, to look at her as a human and know, like, her faith was real and that she was, even to the last, clinging to it. Although I will have to say there was, like, a little, like, yip of victory when Emma was like, and you're dying now.
Emily's like,
done.
You are.
And to think of how excessive that move is, because those pills could have really helped somebody, and instead she used them to kill. Because the dosage she took them in. I want you to take 2 every hour.
Got it.
To make you hella sick.
Yeah.
And so what she was willing to go, like, I'm glad we got her backstory here because it makes killing this woman very clear. You know what I mean? At first I was a little confused, but then I was like,
after everything she's gone through and recently with her mutilation too,
so
I could see her killing a wife. But you know what my other thought was too? Is if Emily doesn't do it, somebody else there will.
They were all itching to murder her.
Yes.
Yeah. I like how we have the same moment with the other aunt, I think it's Sarah here, who was like, there will be consequences. And I was like, I mean, the victory, unless your consequences are as bad as what the Handmaids went through. I love that they dressed her in her pretty blue gown and just stuck her to a cross, and they were like, dead, thank you, bye.
Well, even the aunts don't like her religious, like, God thing, because then they were just
like, God's not here.
Yeah. And this is no respect to being a person of faith or anything like that. Just how she is just that kind of person that it's like Emily sitting there going, so is God going to save you now? No. And it is that moment of like, ha!
Yeah. I like when she tells her, she's like, you held a woman down while your husband raped her. You deserve to die alone. I was like, well, there it is, girl. She just told you.
Yes. So that's, Janine shows up, which, yay. Which I'm like, dude, that girl is so cray-cray now. If, like, she's snapped, but she seems happy. She's like, I know you.
Well, it was just slapping in the face of what Aunt Lydia said. Because she was like, you know, you could have died surrounded by her friends, but you've sent her to the colonies.
Yeah.
And it's like, she'll have friends there too, girl. And life is better than, like, every day above ground, even the worst freaking days, you know, at least she's alive. And at least we don't have her death on our hands.
Exactly.
You know, you guys become more the monster. The more you attack, the more you berate us. We stood together, and the idea that can happen again is kind of awesome.
Then the last bit of June too is when she also finds that wall, the firing wall and the nooses.
I was not prepared.
I was wondering what it was. I'm like, turn the camera around. What is it? What is she looking at? And then it was like
blood splatter, the bullets. But really, the shoe was such a great storytelling device. What a great way to just the idea of solidarity. You know, every woman's wearing heels to a job or whatever. Finding the second one downstairs of the wall so that you know her fate. We had the "I love you, mommy" card right on the desk near the shoe too, and then bringing them together.
The
at
altar
the end
was so beautiful. Like,
God,
it's such a great
gorgeous.
way to
honor
a memorial for all those fallen.
To honor the dead.
Altar to the fallen is what I wrote. Yeah. Then I had the moment of like total practicality. I'm like, wait, can we leave those fires down there? It's not gonna be a problem. No, it's fine. It's concrete.
Yeah, it's fine. That's totally cool.
But while she's there too, last bits of her with Nick, and he was like, it's gonna be weeks to get out. I trust his thought process of we can't exit right now. It's too much going on, per what abilities he has.
Yeah, when she got in that truck, I said, "You're not going anywhere, girl. Get back inside."
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, you're an idiot.
I love that he gave her a gun. That was kudos points to him, because the idea that the gun was there and he didn't have to give it to her, and he gave her a weapon. He was like, look, you can really go if you want to. I will not stop you. I'm not here to own you, but bad idea. I will also say their sex marathon was amazing.
Oh, their sexy time and their rough sex too.
I like how
not
she was like, you need to try to go again. I have to live in this hellhole by myself when you're gone. I'm going to get every ounce out of you, work boy. I was like, this is a lot, but it was great.
Well, and her power play too, of like holding his hair back and everything. And then I'm like, oh, this got... Okay, no, they're both enjoying
she
it.
She needed to be in charge for a moment.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
And
but then he did it, too.
Her.
And then it was like...
And then they were even.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Nice, great power play. But yeah, her in the car, I was like, dude, she's being irrational and emotional. Be like, do you really think you could get out there and just drive? It's like, I get it. Like, you want to be on the move. But it makes sense to me to, like, wait like a week or two and then go.
They're going to think you have gone farther the longer you wait, so their search radius will have expanded.
Exactly.
I get it. I'm still nervous.
Oh, absolutely. I'm nervous, and I don't know if that's 100% a safe... I don't think anywhere's a safe space there.
Truly.
But it's a decent hideout, which stopped turning the lights on and off. But I liked watching the DVD. I'm like, dude, there's stuff to do. You can find things in all those empty
Great
desks.
episode of Friends, BT Dubs. I was really excited about it.
But I think that was there any other things in episode 1 or 2 that we didn't get to?
Oh, we talked about the on the wall. Oh, just that Emma looks so worn down, and it's so sad how fast she has deteriorated in the colonies. And I hope that we have a liberation or some kind of... Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope we have some kind of liberation or
she's
revolt.
She's strong, but it's definitely... Well, the ants all have like gas masks on, and all the girls are having to work out there with nothing.
Perfect prelude to slavery. Prelude. Words are a thing, guys.
Parallel.
Yes, thank you. Working. They recently found bones of slaves buried in the Caribbean where the muscles had detached from the bone from overwork.
Oh, wow.
Like literally the muscle just fell off of their bone because they had been worked so hard. And we see that out there, like just no protection from the elements. Same thing with
the
slaves.
Blisters and like getting infection.
The worst kind of water. The idea is like, the thing is, I would almost hesitate to say like this is worse than slaves because they're not being maintained to be kept alive. They have to die.
Do you have any bullet point predictions?
Oh, yeah.
You had something real quick, so I'm like,
no problem.
We've got a couple quick ones.
My prediction is that June will get completely out of America and turn right back around. I think the final episode
to go for her daughter
will be her. I think to upset everything. It feels very much like American Revolution, like part 2. She's got allies kind of gaining up in the north. She's learning the landscape, so maybe she'll either Harriet Tubman it and go back in and start rescuing handmaids.
That would be great.
Or she'll go back and get her daughter and try to burn down part of the establishment. Something along those lines. But I think she gets out and then makes the decision to go back in, and we're going to be like, no, you just got free, but also, yay, do your thing. But oh my God, my heart.
I just want a revolution of some sort, of somewhere.
At least to see one person get their comeuppance. Can I see like a captain fall? Can I see a branch of the army go down?
Of how much we hate all the other people, that we need that. Though sadly that doesn't always happen. So we'll see. I don't have a lot of predictions. But yeah, I mean, we'll show this real quick too. So Handmaid's Tale, awesome thing of we have
guys, this is obviously the best thing in this box.
Aunt Lydia pillowcase.
It's
an amazing.
Perfect.
We have I'm Sorry, Aunt Lydia, which at first I totally forgot that scene, and I'm like, oh, it's a little squishy rock.
You're so silly.
Yeah. And then like, I got it. I remember now. There is an adult coloring book as well. And then where did I put my little colored
You got them right
pencils?
there.
There we are. And then there's little colored pencils, and it's Resistance Red, Commander Black, Patriarchy Pink, Blue Wives, Gilead Green, and Dandelion Yellow.
I just gotta let you guys know that I snuggle this pillow all of the time. When I received it, I tweeted Aunt Lydia, and I was like, sorry, Aunt Lydia, I'm sitting on your face. And it was amazing.
But yes, thank you very much, Handmaid's Tale Hulu, #ResistSister. Yeah, this little rock thing, I just want to be like, psh.
It's kind of epic.
Yeah. I think that covers all of episode 1 and 2 of this incredible, crazy show. I'm so glad it's back. It's so like, it's intense in a good way.
What, tomorrow or the following day? Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. So
days,
yes. I know. So we air on Mondays. I'm on Mondays.
It's a Monday.
It's on Wednesdays. Yeah.
And if you guys look, I know you guys want to talk to us about the show, and I love talking to you guys about the show. If you could just wait until Saturday to tweet me, I promise I will watch it before Saturday. But sometimes it takes me a minute, and I just don't appreciate spoilers. I do want to talk to you, but just hold it in until Saturday. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for everybody who reached out, checking in on when we would be doing the show. Yes, we are back. We are excited. We do have another panelist who wasn't able to make it today, and we'll be back in full force for next week.
Yeah, we will.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
Yeah, guys, I've been Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique. And coming up May 19th and May 20th at the Ontario Comic-Con in Ontario, California, I'll be hosting a Darkwing Duck panel, a Scalped panel with the Jason Aaron, and then 2 Star Wars panels telling Star Wars stories with some of the writers and creators of Star Wars, and then a General Thrawn panel. So come, join me, say hey if you see me. It should be fun.
Yay! And my name is Kari Lane. Y'all can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And I have this shirt, Don't Let the Bastards Grind You Down, which not sponsored, but it's at Hot Topic. I found it, and it was really cool, and it's on sale. So if you guys are interested, I always like it when stores have your pop culture items. You're like,
it's
yes,
always great.
So happy. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Resist, sister.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.